I guess on my hair, she look all right. And with that actually sitting there like this creams, and I had to have them, sis. All 5 of them. Here, I just had, we're gonna discontinue it, but I had to pick up their book of shadows, honey. Color grade makes cheap fan, expensive breeze, good times. Wow, so serious. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Torrence here, and in today's video, I am bringing you another highly requested video. The day that this palette launched, I posted a poll asking everybody, would you all want to see it? 100% on every single app. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok. Everybody was saying, yes, give it to me. I even posted a poll on YouTube and they said yes. So it's like, Torrence, you better get her going, and that would be the coffee shop from Juviasplace, baby. Let's get into this packaging. Like, you think Juviasplace was not gonna serve with this packaging, honey? Like, come through. But no matter how pretty a packaging is, it's always about that color story on the inside. Neutrals, 16 shades without a black. Hold on, nothing looks extremely warm or cool. I had to get up on it. I had to get up on it. But baby, you see this look, like, you see this neutral look, honey, that I pulled off, and every shade on the eye is from the palette, baby. I didn't dip out and use my face highlight for this. Baby, you got to get into this look. But before we get started, I would love it if you hit that subscribe button. If you already have, I want to say thank you. Also, make sure you leave me a comment down below if you picked up this palette or if you were one of the people who told me to grab it, because I know plenty of y'all are excited to see it. But before we get into this look, I know how helpful swatches are, so let's get into those first. First off, let's get into this beautiful packaging. You know, Juviasplace kills it every time with their cover art. I absolutely love it, and this time is no different. And when they said this was a coffee shop palette, all I kept thinking is we are about to get some nice deep dark browns, and baby, once we get inside, you're gonna see we got it. As with most Juviasplace palettes, this does not contain a mirror, but inside we do have 16 beautiful shades. This is considered an eyeshadow and pigment palette because shades number 1, number 6, and number 7 are considered pigments. The other 11 are considered eyeshadows, and I wanted to just point that out in case you have a sensitivity or allergic reaction to pigments, but considering most of the shades are eyeshadows, I say you can still go ahead and pick this up. Honey, when I tell you I was not prepared for this, this is stunning. This is stunning. 16 shades swatched one time over no primer. And look, although shade number 4 is really light, you see how shade number 12 almost blended to my complexion? To know that most of these mattes are darker than my complexion is beautiful, because y'all know I love deep dark crease shades. But look at this mixture of warm and cool tones, honey. These matte and metallics, like baby, a person of color is going to be in love because they will always find shades dark enough for their complexion. This here is definitely brown girl friendly. Like, I can't wait to get into it. I just got to hurry up and get started. Alright, you guys, let's go ahead and get things started. As with all tutorials, all tools and products used will always be in the description bar below. So if you ever want to know what I use, just make sure you check out there. The thing is, I'm trying something new with my lighting because in that last video, I'll make sure I leave that link right here above for my makeup tutorial. I really believe it was the packaging that had my lighting off, but I wanted to make sure, so I adjusted my lights a little bit and it's seeming weird and my eyes trying, you know, to catch up and have a hard time. But enough about that, because baby, the day this thing launched, which I believe was Thursday or Friday, instantly asked my sister for it. She got it for me, and when I tell you this thing arrived Monday, Juviasplace and picked up on this ship, and I didn't pay anything extra or anything like that. But baby, let's get into this. 16 shades, neutral, no pop or nothing to scare you. All I'm saying is, baby, this may become a new favorite if it works out. But enough talking, because you know, I was already talking crap about this shade here, shade number 12. How close this was to my complexion. And look at that right next to my finger. Like, baby, that is going to be a cool tone transition shade that is going to be beautiful. I can already tell. So let's grab her on our fluffiest blending brush and get this look started. And because we don't know what the pigmentation is like, we're going to tap off our excess. And we're going to sweep this. Ooh, let me move that braid out the way, sis. I'm going to sweep this throughout our entire crease as a transition, baby. Buff her on, up, in, and out. And let's see what she offered. Okay, on this first layer, I know I can see her in person. I'm not sure if that's going to show up on camera. So we are definitely going to go in and do another layer. And baby, they working outside. The gas and electric company is out there redoing some stuff. And I'm hoping they don't get too loud and get over me. Because baby, we can have that during our tutorial. And I'm just picking up a little more product. This time I'm not going to tap it off just to see what that pigmentation is like. And she is building up. I'm going to lift my eye to see if you all can tell and see that shade there. Because she is definitely a cool tone transition shade that literally blends into my complexion. My complexion isn't cool. But I'm not even sure if you're going to be able to see that. I think you can tell that this is just one straight color going down, and then once you get here, it's that slight variation of a shadow, and that's what's going to help our blend later on. And baby, I have hooded eyes, so a transition shade ain't going to never be enough for me. So to deepen up our crease, we're going to come down here to shade number 10 and a slightly smaller blending brush and put that lower in the crease. This shade appears to be a little dark and more pigmented, so you know we're going to tap that off, baby. Start her off as low in the crease as we can possibly get it. And we're going to buff that up and over. And baby, she is a pigmented one. I knew that was coming. So you know what? We're going to try to wipe off most of that on the outer V first, baby. Ooh wee. Then we're going to go into the crease. Because I would rather be able to come back in and build her up. I don't want this shade to take over everything. I want to go in with one more darker shade. And she's not blending quite as easily as that first shade, but she's not giving me any issues. See right here? I just want to try to get a slightly better blend before I go in with that second layer. And I almost don't even want to do a second layer with how pigmented she is. Yeah, see, she's gorgeous. You know what? Just because we're here and we want to see what that pigmentation is like, we're going to load our brush up, but we're going to tap her off real well because this shade is pigmented, honey. And we're going to keep her low in the crease. Actually, no, build up that outer V first. And I'm rotating my brush to get the pigment off all sides while I'm packing down. And then going in and blending out. Because we want that outer V to be the darkest part of the eye. But I want this color to be carried out throughout the entire crease. So we're going to keep our brush as low as possible. And once we're confident that most of that color is gone, we can slightly raise it to diffuse those edges. Baby, gorgeous. And just because I like being dramatic, even though this is going to be neutral, I want to deepen up my outer V just a tiny bit more. So we're going to come up to this shade here, shade number 9, and we're going to first press that into the outer V. In any remainder color, we're only going to pack into the outer end of our lower crease. Hold on, my little Redford 14 said that's a little too much product. We got to tap most of that off, honey. We're going to take her and put this on the outer end and sweep that backwards. Baby, oh yeah, she just enough to deepen that up. Not enough to take over the look. And I'm glad we did the outer V first. We want most of this pigment to be here. I'm rotating my brush as I'm packing to release product on all sides. Then we're just going to take that and buff her up into the crease. Only want to go to the outer half. I want to keep that inner half a little bit lighter. And we're gonna put this low into the socket. And once we feel as if we have it as far over as we want it, we can start to raise that a little bit to soften that line. You want to be careful of how far you bring it over. And you can see how on this side we just have a little more definition on our outer end than we do on the opposite side. And I'm loving her, and that color diffused beautifully, baby. I don't want to take over, so we're going to stop right here on that first layer. All right, now it's time to go ahead and get our lids covered. My NYX glitter adhesive, she ain't done, but she getting closer by the day, baby. And I found my Morphe M421 brush. I said in the last video I thought she was over there in that cup, and she was. So I'm like, we got to wash you because we need you for this next tutorial. And we're just going to pick some up on the back of our hand, and we're just going to put this down. Our main concern is just not covering our outer V since we took the time to put that work in. But other than that, baby, I'm not even really worried about it. We're just going to prime it. I like to prime the bottom first because I will forget, and the area behind my lashes will not be coated. And then I just like to bring her up. We know we're going to bring her at least inside the socket. I'm not sure I'm going to bring her past the crease. And because I didn't yet, we're just going to go ahead and say we won't. We're going to leave that nice and small and simple. But I do want to bring it over to the outer V and feather that over. Now it's time to pick some shimmers, and because I know I want something cool tonus like Torrence, what do you go for? Simply because we use shade number 12 here for a transition, I'm going to take shade number 11 and put that on the inner half. And for the outer half, we are going to go with shade number 13 here. Baby, shade number 11 feels so creamy on the brush, and she's a nice deep color, so I can't wait to get her on. I'll just pack her on the front half. And I usually have to remind myself when I'm putting on the lid shade, Torrence, do not cover your entire lid with this one shade. So I'm going to just get this on and look at her. You talk about a deep, rich, it looks to me like a cool tone chocolate brown. Oh my goodness. Do you all see that? She is gorgeous. And with shade number 13, she coming off just a tiny bit crumbly, but I had to pick her because she's giving me old gold vibes, and y'all know I'm not the biggest fan of that bright yellow bar of gold look. So let's go ahead and see how she looks. We want to fill in this space between our outer V and that lid shade. We're going to pack her on first. And that fallout that I just got was my fault because I did pick up too much on my brush, but I wanted to make sure I had enough to blend her up to the front, because I like to have a seamless color. I don't like it to be a sharp line between the two. We might just slightly, just the tiniest bit, blend her back into that outer V color. Okay. Alright, you guys see how it looks rather dark in the front, and then it blends into that lighter color in the back, and then out into my outer V color. Got to love her. I almost slipped up on my words right there, but I'll be back after we do this. Sis, I don't know what to tell you. Y'all already see what's going on. We ain't did no face. We ain't did nothing else. We ain't even finished the lower lash line, no mascara, and this look is already live. So I'm gonna cut away, finish off the face, and when I come back, I'm gonna show you how we're gonna finish off the lower lash line. Honey. Honey. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, honey, y'all know. Greens are my favorites. Behind that are blacks. Then I always tell people, it's about those neutrals. But, yes, ma'am, honey. I got to tell y'all about what we did off camera because I'm like, it ain't much more we got to do to finish this look off. But, you know, I'm going to do a little bit more. But off camera, I decided, you know what, Torrence? This is the first juviasplace palette you've done in a minute. Go ahead and play with some of your other juviasplace stuff. And Let's get into it, baby. First off, this is not Juvia's Place. This is a NARS foundation. I completely forgot what the wear, what the look and all of that is. Y'all know NARS makes my favorite complexion products. This is their Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. And I love the glass bottle and everything, but I'm gonna have to test this out a few more times because I was shaking her up, getting everything going in the bottle. But I guess it's been such a long time that I've used it that the product that shot up was that dried up product inside the tube. But I'm like, if it didn't dry it down and concentrate it, that's a little more pigmentation, a little, baby, I use that, so that's the foundation we got going. And I truly think the next time I wear, it's not gonna be as thick, it's not gonna be as full coverage, but the look that it gives off on the skin is like, come through. Concealer. Shh, do not tell nobody. The Juviasplace concealer in the shade 18, I do not recall if I've ever used this or not. I know for sure I don't have the foundation. I think I may have tried her out. She was like matte, 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 dry, dry, dry. And I was like, sent that right on back. But this concealer, I had her on the shelf. She just been sitting over there. Every time I reach for a concealer, I just never grabbed her. But today, like, baby, bright under eye, full coverage, blended out. She got me feeling myself. I'm loving her. Then I was like, okay, Torrence, you already feeling Juvia's Place. How much more can we add? You know I love me a contour, and I've been trying to pan my KVD ones, but we said we're gonna put that to the side, and I decided to pull out my bronzer palette from Juvia's Place. Mind you, says bronzed right there. So even though I went in and tried to use her as a contour, she didn't get the job done. One, she wasn't dark enough. Two, she wasn't the right tone. But as a bronzer on my complexion, honey, she definitely works as a beautiful bronzer, but I did go in and use her as a contour. I skipped right over that top shade because I'm like, we trying to see how deep, dark, how dramatic we can get. Use this bottom shade. And my nose has some definition to it. You can tell that, you know, I slimmed her down. I did it also on the cupid's bow, on the cheeks. So I'm like, I have some warmth to my skin because I'm like, we're doing cooler toned eyes, so I can't let my complexion be flat, but this is looking fabulous. So I was like, okay, keep it going with the Juvia's Place, Torrence. How much more can you do? For the lips, I wanted to do another Juvia's Place combo. I am wearing the liner in the shade Cola. She's almost out, but I already have a backup on the shelf. She only got that much left right there. So I'm like, I know I can finish that by the end of the year if I try. For lip gloss, I am wearing the shade Legit Nude. I knew I wanted something very light, something shiny, and to me in the tube, she almost looked like she's a cool tone brown. I didn't care, I just knew I wanted something very light if I was gonna go dark with the lip liner. So we have that there. Also, it wasn't nobody's fault but my own because sitting back, jamming to Whitney Houston behind the scenes, maybe y'all know. If y'all watch my last video, I'll leave that link right here. I've been crying about Whitney Houston because, baby, her and Matt got a collection coming out and I want the entire thing. So behind the scenes, I just been feeling myself and accidentally dropped this loose highlighter from Juvia's Place. This is the loose highlighter in the shade Ice. This was from last year's Christmas collection. To me, she comes off as a, I'm gonna say, a light to medium neutral, maybe even slightly cool tone gold because I sense a few flecks of pink, maybe even blue or purple in there. They are not prominent at all because on my skin, she just gives the most beam-like look at the way that cheek shines. And I wanted to skip blush today because I'm like, the eyes are cool toned. You're testing out a new foundation and a new concealer. You don't know how things are gonna work out, so you don't wanna do too much. And I really felt as if this look is so laid back, I did not want blush to come through and give it away. So I'm like, hold that off. You can use the next tutorial. And I'm trying to see, is there anything else I forgot to mention? The only two things I can't, don't see anything else but lower lash line, demolition eyeliner from Urban Decay. I know Juvia's Place has liners. The thing is, I have a ton of them from Urban Decay. Like, I try to buy their collection. And so when they came out with theirs, I think they had like a black, a brown, a blue, and a purple. And it's like, I don't need any of those besides that blue. But I did check out the blue. She's nice, but she's not the one for me. Honestly, none of the ones from Urban Decay are either. That Marc Jacobs that's discontinued and that Lip Bar blue one that's discontinued, both so amazing that no other brand has just given it to me like them. And speaking of the Lip Bar, this is their brow pencil in Arch-Nemesis. Trying to pan this off by the end of the year as well, so we have that. And I'm looking around like, I don't think I see or have nothing else to mention. Any and everything else will be in the description bar below. Last thing is, I'm also panning this mascara. This is from Marc Jacobs as well. This is the Eyelash Lifting and Volumizing Mascara. So we'll put that there. But baby, it's time to get back into this look, cause like I got to. So let's go ahead and pull her back out. Now to finish off this look, basically I just want to recreate the smoke on the lower lash line that we have on the top. So we're going to take our largest pencil brush, start off with shade number 12 here, and we're going to buff that out. Then we're going to take a smaller pencil brush and we're going to go into shade number 14 here. Then we're going to finish her off with a push liner brush in shade number 9. And because this is the lower lash line, we're going to tap her off because baby, I find that the lower lash line seems to pick up color a little bit more because it got the shadow from the lashes to help it out. And we don't want this to be too dark. So we're going to start on the outer end. Make sure this connects. And I just want this transition shade to come in and be a buffer for the other colors. She don't have to be full pigmentation. But because she is cool toned, she going to bring a shadow to the under eye. So we don't want to do too much of her. And that's going to be it. Now for shade number 14, same thing. Tap off as much of that product as we can because we want this to stay soft. I'm going to go back in, outer end, buff this all the way across. And we want that to just barely start to peek through. Because this is such a tiny brush, I may have to go in and dip again. But we want just enough for us to be able to see that color coming through. And honestly, I'm looking at it now like, you know what? Actually, let me get just the teeniest, tiniest bit for right here in the front. Ooh, and I think I might have added just a tiny bit too much right there. So we're going to stop and pull back now. Now I have my push liner brush. And I want to remind myself on the top, we did not take it all the way throughout the crease. We only took it on the outer half. So we want to repeat that process on the bottom. And we want to be real careful and real slow. Because this is the darkest of them all. Baby, and that tiny little amount did it for me. I don't even have to go all the way in. I ain't going to risk that. Now, my favorite part of eyeshadow, highlighting my inner corner and my brows. So we're going to take the lighter shimmer, shade number 8 here, and we're going to put that on the inner corners. I want that color to beam and shine. And any color we have left on the brush, we're going to take and put that on the arch of the brow. Alright, and we're going to take this, and I want to make sure y'all in view so y'all can see this, because baby, here she go. Ooh. I know y'all see her. I'm going to connect it to the top, because I want that beam to be there. And bring her out a little more. Look at that. Baby, look at. Yes, ma'am. Without one, she gorgeous. But to me, I love a shimmery inner corner highlight. Can't go wrong with it. And we're going to take what's left. Oh, that braid keep falling down, baby. And we're going to just put this at the very arch of the brow. And bring her back. And you see that color is shining. It says, whoo. Baby, let me sweep her down and outside. Because I want most of the color to be at the arch, but I need that color to diffuse so she's not just one beam. And look. Baby, it looked like it's a spotlight on those brows. Alright, you guys, this is all we're going to do for the face, but there's no point of putting in all this work if we're not going to lock it in. So grab your sprays, because you know I'm about to grab mine. And you guys know the phrase already. Let's get it going. Fix Plus to give us a glowy do. All-nighter so things will last all day. Cheap fan, expensive breeze, good times. I'm going to give this a few more moments to dry and I'll be back to give you all my final thoughts. And here's the final look. I'm going to go ahead, give you all a full face view of things before I give you all my final thoughts. And I'm here to tell you, you ain't got to guess, you ain't got to question, you ain't got to wonder. This palette is fabulous. She's gorgeous. I'm sitting here looking at this like, baby, get into this. Neutrals, pigmented, buildable, blendable, affordable, black owned, gorgeous packaging, gorgeous formula. Like, sis, get into her. Get into her. When I tell you, honey, I like neutrals, but it is so hard for me to get into them because it seems like everybody is always doing the most. They either put way too much orange in it or it just goes straight to cool tone. It seems like a lot of brands are having a hard time just doing a neutral palette. Not warm neutral, not cool neutral, not neutral with a pop of, neutral. Neutral. Not a pinky shade, not a mauvey shade, not a real yellowy shade. Neutral. Neutral. And she dropped dead gorgeous, honey. I've been collecting Juvia's since the very beginning, honey, and very few of their palettes just be like, give me that heart here right now. We're going to hold it over here. You can go and do what you want to do. But I can easily tell you all, this is about to be in my top 5. Easily in my top 5 because she is stunning. And I'm trying to remember, I think I only have one errand that I need to run today. Somebody's son gonna have to see me in this. I'ma purposely probably stop by the pharmacy knowing I ain't got a prescription that need to be picked up, but I'm gonna need the pharmacist to get some of this. So you, baby, you think them drugs can do something for you, baby? I ain't got no money, but I'ma still stop by the bank and just, I want to deposit $1. Just so the bank teller can see this makeup, baby. Screw checking my account. Like, this look is fabulous. And I kept trying to tell myself, like, Torrence, you like this a little too much. She looked familiar. You've worn a look like this before. Where did you do this? Last year. I did a video, which I'll leave linked right here above, one of my all-time favorite tutorials. And when I tell you, this palette gave me more compliments than any other palette last year. And I'm talking about in person. Like, people would stop me and say, what are you wearing? It's fabulous. And that would be the Jaclyn Hill Divine Neutrals palette, her collab with Morphe. This palette, I got it as soon as it launched, because y'all know, say what you want about Jaclyn, that's my boo, that's my baby. She even liked that picture on Twitter, but every time I seem to do something, it seems like Jaclyn herself seems to catch it. Not Jaclyn Cosmetics, not Morphe. Jaclyn always seems to compliment me as well, so it's like, baby, I love me some Jaclyn Hill. And look at this. This was the palette that I wore whenever I needed to tell myself, Torrence, don't do too much. You need a neutral look. You want to be able to go matte and you want to be able to go shimmer. You want to be able to do your cut crease and all that, but don't do too much. And this palette allowed me to do that because it only had this one deep dark crease shade, which was a deep dark brown and not a black. Understandable. I get you. I love me a black, so I will take it there. So every time I wore this palette, she was fabulous. The thing is, the deeper your complexion is, the harder you may have found to use it, because I always saw myself using Good Vibes as a transition shade. To me, these two shades were a little light, and so I would use them as lid toppers. But if you were someone who either A, did not like Morphe's formula, or B, didn't like the fact that you didn't find enough crease or outer V shades in this palette, the coffee shop is here for you, baby. When I tell you, look at all of these crease shades, look at all of these outer V shades, look at all these lid shades. And if you want to do an all matte look with a matte lid, you got a shade bright enough for that. You got a matte shade bright enough for your inner corner if need be. So I can't say enough good things about it. I know they said that right now this is a Juviasplace exclusive, which is where I got it from. I heard that within the next few months it will make its way to Ulta, but I'm here to tell you, honey, you ain't gotta wait for it to go to Ulta. She worth her full price, her full price. And I believe if you only buy her alone, you will incur a shipping charge. But they had a coupon, I forgot what coupon code I used, where this palette was initially $26 full price. But after my discount code, even with taxes and shipping, she only came up to $27. So I absolutely recommend her. I'm feeling the palette, I'm feeling the eye look, I'm feeling myself, and it's like, baby, yes ma'am, yes ma'am. I'm loving this. I can't wait to let other people see it. So I need to hurry up and clean up because baby, I'm about to step out, and this video is being recorded on the day that I have live. This is Tuesday the 22nd and it's 4:42, so in about 2 hours and 15, maybe 20 minutes, my video for Minka will be going up. So if you all have not checked that out, that was the previous video. Let me know how y'all feel about that. But this neutral palette, I keep looking at my screen like, baby, those eyes are stunning. And I didn't even use the darkest colors in this palette. Meaning I can go even deeper if I wanted to with these mattes. I use the cooler tones, which means if I want a warmer tone look, I can get that too. So it's like, they get it, Torrence. You love the palette, you recommend her. So if you all truly did enjoy this tutorial, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Also, leave me a comment down below if you all plan on picking this up. Actually, let me know if you all are going to pick it up from juviasplace or from Ulta, because I know many of you said you were going to wait for my tutorial. So if you were waiting on me, baby, you might as well go grab it now before she sell out. Also, I want to say thank you to all of you who are subscribed. Baby, I love you. You know we are 1,000 strong. If you have not hit that subscribe button, make sure you do it now, because baby, you could be there when we hit 2,000. But with nothing else, I want to make sure I close this up, because baby, I'm going to keep talking. So, with nothing else, I hope you all remember to practice, continue to stay blessed, and until next time, goodbye, YouTube.